And I always say the same. I think I don't have any great skill. My only skill is perseverance. Nowadays, there's a lot of information about e-commerce, about doing business, about dropshipping or whatever model you want to be in. Be very picky on who are you listening to. Right? We started testing some Facebook ads. It didn't work so well for us. We tested Google. And from there on, we keep on scaling only with Google ads.
Hello guys, Alex Fedotoff here. And today I have a special guest, Augusto. He's from Argentina. He's in e-commerce, he's doing only Google ads, and he's doing $5 million a year doing just Google ads, no Facebook at all. So I'm here to pick his brain, learn from him, what's working on Google right now, learn more about his story, and just have a good chat. So Augusto, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi Alex, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to talk to you and hope I could be of value to the community.
Awesome, yeah. So Augusto came to our event here in Budapest. We gathered 100 e-commerce entrepreneurs, experienced entrepreneurs to exchange insights, share what's working, and just help each other out. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a great event, great like-minded people in all different stages of the journey. So it was amazing.
Awesome, man. So tell us more about your journey, how you got into e-commerce.
Okay, so I started in e-commerce like 2018, roundish, like Q3 of 2018. I came from a background of more like tech startup founder with a VC kind of venture. And I was a little bit tired of that world because it's a lot of, dealing with things that are not making business profitable necessarily. So,
like what?
Like you need to raise capital to make your startup work. And a lot of people think that raising capital is like the win for you to have a successful business, while the actual reality is to have sales, customers, and have a profitable business, which is not the case usually in startups. I got a little bit tired of that world for a couple of years, and I found out about dropshipping, as most people do, via some YouTube video with my business partner that I have back in Argentina. We decided that we have to go full on it. So in 2018, we left everything we were doing before.
Did you make some money from it?
From my startup? Yes, I did.
Good money? Big money?
Not big money. We raised capital. We raised like a seed round. We did it in 2 different countries. I made money with a salary, not with an exit. We closed the company down because it wasn't going anywhere. There was a lot of things. So we have to keep on raising money. So we were opening a new round for a couple of $1 million, and I wasn't trying to go into that world. So I decided to close it. Start with e-commerce. So we took a crazy, let's say, guess with my business partner. We went to China. We gathered some, let's say, funds we have, small funds to kickstart our journey. Part of that we invested in going to China to see how it was. We found out that everything is made in China and that it's an amazing world. So we came back and we launched our first store. We started testing some Facebook ads. Then it didn't work so well for us. We tested Google. And from there on, we keep on scaling only with Google ads.
So Google started working for you right away?
Yes.
Interesting.
Right away. We are more for more analytical background, not that much of content creation background. So we take our skill set that we thought it was on place and start testing. And one test led to another. We start seeing some results, and we start being like, the good thing we liked about e-commerce and why did we decide to pursue dropshipping and e-commerce is because you're able to make a profitable business from the start, right? Like you don't need much capital to start with. And from the beginning, you have a positive cash flow business. So from the same business we started, it started like moving the way around, and we started like growing with the same sales we were getting. And in Q4...
Kind of like self-funded instead of like venture capital where you have to get external funding because the business usually is not profitable day one.
Yeah, exactly. Bootstrapped. We call it bootstrapped, 100% bootstrapped. We started getting some real results. In Q4, we got our first kind of winning product. We tried to scale it as much as we can. And from there on,
How much you made?
Now with that, we did our first 6 figures with that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good margins?
Not at that time because we were just starting. So all of our chain of work was not good. But yes, we did money, and we could kick off like our journey from there. We decided that we will focus on Google because that's what we were doing right. So we keep on from there. We keep on scaling during 2019, hiring our first team members, people to help us. And now we scale. We have a bigger, great team, and we have ambitions to keep on scaling as much as we can.
Awesome. And so that first year, right? That's usually, when people are getting into the business, they're trying different business models. Not everything works right away, right? And so what was the motivation for you? For example, after, Facebook didn't work for you, what was the kind of the motivation for you to keep exploring different traffic sources and just keep, trying to figure it out?
That's a great question. As you said, maybe it sounded like it worked for us from the start. It didn't, because we test first Meta or Facebook. That's what everyone is preaching about, and it's really good traffic source, but it was not good for us. So the thing is, me and my business partner, we decided to, we always treat this venture that we were starting as a company. So we never thought it as a quick money scheme, right? We wanted to make a company out of it and really learn and be competing with the best in the best markets. Yeah. So we were very ambitious about that. We have a clear vision of what we wanted to learn and what we wanted to build. So I think that helped us okay, we're gonna make this work until we're gonna make it work. So and it was before we ran out of money, so that also.
How much money did it take for you to kind of start breaking even and start making profit?
The good thing is we never got to a point that we were worried about it. It just less than a couple $1,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty soon. To start getting to see the traction, right? Not to scale, but to see the traction and seeing, okay, this is possible, right? So that's
because over the last few days, I've had conversations with many entrepreneurs, including here at the event, 100 entrepreneurs. I've had conversations with many of them, and everyone's journey is different. Yeah. Some people getting that traction within a few months. Some people test their first product, getting that good traction almost right away. And for some people, it takes years. Like one of our clients, Simone, he's from Italy, now lives in Dubai. He's 23 years old, and last month he did $5.7 million. So he's doing good business. But it took him 2 years until he started getting some traction with his business. Yeah. And if he would have given up within those 2 years, right, he would have never gotten to the point where his business is growing, his business is profitable, and he's changing many people's lives. His team members, his customers. And so what would you say to people that are, trying to get into something, could be e-commerce, could be something else, and they don't see the traction right away?
That's a great question. I think it's a great issue. I talk with peer friends or whoever asks me about entrepreneurship or doing your own business. And I always say the same. I think I don't have any great skill. My only skill is perseverance. So I'm ready to go how it takes to try to get it. And I know for me, this type of game of building your own business is not a sprint, it's more of a marathon. And I like to run, although it doesn't show, but I like to run.
Oh, you look good. You look good.
I appreciate it. When you go out running, for example, just to train, I'm very competitive, right? So sometimes if someone goes right past me, so I start running faster, and sometimes I catch them, sometimes I don't. But what I always think is, why I'm trying to do this, because I don't know where this guy started from, right? Yeah. I don't know maybe I'm running already for 5 kilometers and he just started, so he's with more energy. Yeah. So I think that's important to have the right mindset, right? Everyone has their own journey, everyone's gonna have their own time. The only thing you need is perseverance. Of course, you need a lot of things, but perseverance, I think, is the main skill. Be able to go through the issues you're gonna face, right? Because maybe at the beginning, for some people, they get it right away. That's not an issue, and for others, the issue is to get the right things going. But you're always gonna have issues, right? Like businesses always have issues. Maybe they are not the same issues for you, for me, or for someone getting started, or for someone doing whatever numbers. So it's important that doing your own business, you will always have to have that perseverance skill to go past the pain line, right? So that's maybe try to be aware of that.
And also, I think the big lesson in your story that, in our business, we mostly use, Facebook advertising, and majority of our community is also using Facebook advertising. For your business, it was Google that got you great traction. You've been doing this for years now. And I think the lesson is that the same ways that everyone's journey is different, there's many different ways to succeed. And for you, it could be like different traffic source. It could be different like category of products. There's not just like only one way to make it work.
Yeah.
There's many different categories of products. There's many different traffic sources. You just have to find one that you want to master and just stick to it for a longer period of time to become very good at it.
Yeah, it takes times and a lot of resilience, right? There's not one way. There's no one path to success, and maybe it's the same traffic source but different strategies. Right?
Yeah.
Different niches, different ways of building businesses. So yeah, it's just to get the right things right, and it takes times.
Yeah.
So
for sure. So how is that? For example, back in Argentina, the average. What's the average salary in Argentina?
It depends on your skill set, but I think an average person can be winning around $1,000. That's a good salary to live there. But so average salary is maybe now, again, depends on a lot of factors, but maybe around $700.
700.
Yeah.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this interview with Augusto. If you want to be surrounded by other 7, 8, and 9-figure e-commerce entrepreneurs who are actively growing their brands, building exitable businesses, and also generating a lot of profit in the short term, then book a call with my team. We'll help you to refine your Facebook ad strategy. We'll help you to connect with the right people in the space so you can scale your business profitably, and we'll help you to build a team that can help you take your business to the next level. If you're interested in that, click the first link in the description. We'll see exactly how we can help you. And so back to the interview. So for you, when you started making, let's say, I don't know, $1,000, $5,000, like $10,000 per month, and now you're making obviously substantially more than that. So what was the motivation for you to keep, building the business, trying to scale it farther instead of just business making money, just chill, relax, and have a good time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it will depend on anyone, on each person. In my case, of course, money is important, and we all want money, and we want to live well. It's more of an ambitious goal to see. That's a good thing about this game, right? Where you go to, there's no limit. The limit is yourself, right? You can keep scaling and scaling with maybe new traffic sources, new brands, new niches, new countries, whatever. There's a lot of ways to scale. So in my case, it was, which I still have, at least at the moment, ambitious to make something as big as I can, and to try to test myself, to see, okay, where's my limit, right? Where's my skill set limit? And try to push me. It's not always easy, but that's what keep me going, to see how much we can scale, how much, till what number, what amount of customers, what amount of whatever measure or metric you want to take, you can push it. So that's what at least is my driver.
And if you were to start e-commerce business today, 2024, knowing how the whole landscape looks and knowing what you know now, what you would do? Would you go on Google still? Would you go on Facebook? Would you try selling in specific markets? For example, one of our clients, he's selling in Argentinian market. Yeah. He's saying, that there's a great potential, pretty much no competition. Yeah. He's selling e-commerce products in that market. So what would you do knowing what you know now?
That's a great question. I don't think there's a correct answer. It's going to be my answer.
Yeah.
So first of all, I would analyze which are the skill sets I have, or they will be easier for me to learn, and how much capital I can start with. Taking into consideration those two things, I would go, if I had less budget, I would go to underserved markets, easier markets, because it's going to be easier to learn, to get to know some about the knowledge of the game, the good things, the bad things, how you can have. You will have to sort other issues, but not maybe marketing. Just to give you an example, we tested some Facebook ads, obviously. Every once in a while we try to see how it goes. It never goes well. That's why we're focusing on Google, but because it's really good for us. But sometimes we test it and we help other friends do their business. We saw in Facebook or in Meta CPMs in the US for a certain niche, maybe $50 per CPM, while in Argentina that CPM can be $1.
Oh, wow.
So basically with the same amount of ad spend, you can be printing 50 more times, right? So that's something I would have taken into consideration. That's the first thing. Like go to where's my skill sets or where I'm able to learn faster. Because if there's less competition, it's going to be easier for you to have success. Maybe you have other issues. Like if you guys trying to go to Argentina, I don't recommend. Like shipping times are way too far. Other things not to have into consideration, but just to have that other things. And then other thing I would recommend or I would do is nowadays there's a lot of information about e-commerce, about doing business, about dropshipping or whatever model you want to be in, POD or whatsoever. Be very picky on who are you listening to, right? Or which community you are being from, because there's a lot of people like sadly that they're lying or they're trying to play a little bit with your emotions or sell something they don't are or they don't do. So which I think that's kind of, but try to find the right wave of inspiration. That and the second thing, this is a game of testing. So if you don't test, if you don't keep on going, you're never going to have success. So test as much as you can.
Being very selective about the information. I've heard this advice like from multiple people that I've had conversations with. They're very selective where they're taking information from because there's a lot of, wrong information. First of all, like, you have to know the source of that information. Are the people that you're learning from actually like doing what they're teaching you? Because otherwise, the information could be outdated or the information could be like irrelevant for your specific situation. So I think that's a great piece of advice.
Yeah, and nowadays maybe it's a ChatGPT script. So
for sure. So what's working on Google right now? Like what's kind of the biggest things that you're focusing on?
Great, that's a great question. We are focusing on a couple of things now. Google, a good game to start. It's maybe Google Shopping, right? Campaigns in the US is working really well. PMax shopping campaigns, trying to go to a certain market, certain niche. As I would recommend everyone is to have as bigger margins they can to be able to keep on testing till they get their right CPA. That's the first thing if someone wants to go with Google Shopping to the US market, choose a niche. Make sure you have good margins. The business economics are really important. And launch PMax campaign. PMax campaign is a type of campaign. I don't know how much you are familiar with. You probably are. But
Performance Max.
Yes, but for the people seeing us, I don't know. But it's basically a campaign where you give Google the resources that you have of product feed, product title information, and if you want or not some content, you can give images, banners, and some videos if you want. And what Google will do is try to optimize everything you have there to show it to the right audience in the right channel, right? So that's kind of what you're gonna start with. Good thing for people to know about Google is that it's slower, the scale up of growing with Google is slower than Facebook. I was talking to a lot of guys here in the mastermind, is that Facebook you are able to do like a growth like it's like this, but maybe it goes the hockey stick like really fast, or you can find that kind of growth. Google is more like this, right? It's grow a little slower but steadier. So that's good, or at least for us. So be aware of that. Don't expect like instant results or crazy results from the start. You may have, but it's not the common thing in the space. So be aware of that and start testing. Good recommendations like small key tactics. Try to get the lower CPCs that you can, like the cost per clicks, because that's in Google. You especially in shopping or search campaigns, what you are bidding is for CPC, not for CPMs like you do in Meta. So you're bidding at CPC level, right? Like how much is that click cost for you? So try to get them as lower as you can. If that is good with your business economics, you're ready to go. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Makes sense for sure. Which countries do you see like? So you're in the United States. What other countries do you see?
We are selling in US, UK, Canada, Australia for sure, and we are now in other countries testing at the moment. Other European countries, like good countries, of course. Let's say Germany is a good country if you know the language.
So do you translate to German?
Yes, we do a lot of things very important about the language because with Google, the main source are keywords, right? Are keywords. So it's important for you to nail that down. So that's why maybe I would suggest people entering the space to go to English-speaking countries first, if that is their knowledge, so they don't get confused in all the workarounds. Test that, and then you can. Once you nail the game and it's there, you're able to expand. That's one way. But if you are from any other country where you want to try it, for example, let's say if I would do it in Argentina, that's okay for me because I know the language and I'm able to do it. That's a good way of starting. Also, with the same recommendation I gave you before, like try to know where's your skill set and where's your budget and what you're able to do. If you want to compete with the biggest sharks they are, you should go to the US.
For sure.
And then you go down.
From the tools perspective, like how do you identify like the niche or the products to sell? Like do you utilize specific tools to give you ideas on the like demand, how many searches per month and stuff like that?
That's a great question. There are a lot of tools, as everything. There are different ways of approaching it. A key tool in Google is the Google Keyword Planner. It's a tool given by the Google Ads account.
Is it accurate?
Yes.
Pretty accurate?
Yeah, yes, it's pretty much accurate, yeah. Sometimes there are certain keywords that they won't show if they have like compliance issues, just for people not to get doing like wrong stuff on those keywords, but it's pretty accurate. So you can, in the Google Keyword Planner, you're able to give a keyword, they will tell you the volume and all the related keywords. And also you can give a website and they tell you the kind of, what keywords are they targeting or they could. That's a really good way of getting started. Always a good way of starting, like what people need to understand about Google is that with Facebook or Meta, what you're doing is direct response, but you're creating the demand, right? So you're going to really cold traffic, creating the demand. So people are scrolling through their phones, through the story, seeing their friends and family or whatever, and they get an ad shown, right? The ad has to be attractive, they have to click and they buy, right? But they weren't looking for something specifically. In Google, it's the other way around. Like people are searching. So you're getting like mid-funnel down. So people are properly searching for a keyword, an issue, a product, right? So now a good way of doing product research is getting the winners that they are in social media, winning products from social media that are trending in TikTok or Facebook. See if they're starting to scale up the search volumes in the keyword planner, and that could be a winner for you. That's a good way.
Interesting.
That's a good way. So in that regard, also the ad spy tools that are available for Meta, sometimes they can help you give you good insights of products to sell. So that's good.
Do you have any like favorite categories of products, like favorite niches?
Business-wise or personally?
Like on Google specifically.
Not really. There are a lot of niches that are good. It depends on your skill set and how's the competitive market. We sell in a couple of different niches, so we're not niche specific. So it really depends. What is important in Google to people for them to know it's a game of relevance, right? So the more you know about the niche, the easier it's going to be for you. So it's easier for you to write or for me to write about, I don't know, let's say football things, or for the American audience, soccer, but for us it's football in Argentina.
Yeah.
So for me it's easy to write or to see that kind of category because I'm very used to it. So I'm able to do all the, let's say, landing pages or the product selection or the keyword research very more accurate because I know that audience, right? So that's kind of the thing you should, or why you should look to if you're getting started, to get to know the relevance that you can create in that category or niche, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you currently run like general stores or niche stores?
We have both of them. We have general stores, a couple of niche stores, and we have some brands. So we have the three type of businesses or stores.
Which one you've seen the most success with?
It depends how you measure success. If you measure it in revenue, of course, brands at the end of the day are for the long term, so that's good. General and niche stores can give you a really good set amount of winners in the middle, so that's quicker money, if you want to say it somehow. But for the long term, we think we're going into brands, of course. That's the main goal of Tyrol, right?
So with general stores, it's like basically you kind of like stacking revenue. So let's say $1,000 a day on this product, $1,000 a day on this product. You're basically stacking all of these different products.
Exactly.
And that's how you collectively generate.
Exactly. You may have a lot of products. Sometimes we have them categorized in different categories of type of products, but you may have a product that maybe sells a couple $100 per day or per week, and then you have the other ones that are your winning products that can sell a couple thousands per day or not. So you can have different scale of products. So that's a good way of having that. That's a good way of starting with a general niche store, right? Like you're able to test a little bit further. So I would recommend anyone starting it like to test. Again, I think digital marketing is a game of testing. Things change every day. Maybe what I'm saying in a couple of days or weeks, there's an update in the algorithm and it changed, but that's what is working for us right now.
Do you use any other tools for tracking? Like for example, do you use external tools for tracking like Hyros or anything like that, or just standard Google tracking is working for you?
That's a great question. We use mainly Google. We don't use any external. As we are driving traffic only from one traffic source, which is Google, we use a lot of Google Analytics, the Shopify, and everything. And as we are in the business for quite some time, we have built our own systems to cross-check the information. So we try to have the as much accurate as possible. So yeah, that's how we measure it.
For people that are just starting out, like are there, let's say, and they want to go into Google, like do you have any specific kind of like feedback or some specific advice, to understand about the Google algorithm?
Yeah, you should consider three things. One, again, is a keyword and relevance game. So what this means is how Google works is for every search someone makes, it's make a bid, right? So the bid and the Google algorithm, what it will do is determine your quality score. The quality score is made by three things: the bid, how much you're willing to pay, the relevance. So let's say I'm bidding for a white T-shirt. If my landing page is a black T-shirt, that's not relevant. But if it's a white T-shirt, it's relevant. And landing page experience. That's how Google analyze and try to see if you're a good fit or not for that customer or that search. So you have to take that into consideration very well. It's not only a bidding game. So that's try to nail keywords, research, and being relevant for that keyword, right? Like don't try to spam, if that makes sense. Don't do it for just like copy pasting things. You need to work around it, because if not, you're not gonna have success. Again, yeah, maybe that and test.
And then so like you said, Google is scanning the landing pages for the content and can identify like if you have like, let's say, white T-shirt or black T-shirt on the landing page.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. What they do is they scan your site like constantly to see if that matches, and if that does, so they're gonna try to get you. So you have to be very clear what you do in Google. Like it's very, let's say, strict about it. You can, as everything, you can get your workaround sometimes, but that's not the thing I recommend to do.
So, with Facebook, we always are unhappy about the support that we're getting for the most part. It's pretty slow, and it's like, to get something done, it takes like a lot of time. Sometimes you don't even get a response if you have a specific problem. How is that with Google? Is Google good with support and kind of, the communication with their team?
Yeah, that's a great question. It will depend on who you ask to, but in my opinion, you're gonna get better support as much as you spend. Like as when your ad spend gets bigger, you're gonna get better support. However, in our opinion, the support is not good. Like they are not ready. Like you are able to communicate fast. Like they have a lot of chat support, but the support they gave you is not always give you the right answer or the thing you are looking for. So times are longer. Again, in Google, times are longer, and you can get banned as in Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and maybe in some part, not the ad account or some kind of things. But so you have to be very tidy, and especially getting into Q4, their restrictions get stricter, right? Like they're putting the eye on it even more. So support is not that good, and sometimes the recommendations they give you are good, sometimes they're not.
Same as with Facebook.
So you have to know how to listen, right? As the same thing we spoke before of knowing where to get your sources on who you're listening to. This is the same thing, right? Like you should know why Google is telling you something or not. Probably in Facebook it's the same. Like you need to know which are the objectives of the account executive or the support guy that is giving you comments, right? Maybe they're aligned with yours or maybe not. So be yeah, create your own criteria to
Interesting.
know that.
Do you want to get on Facebook at some point?
Yeah, probably. It's always
On the back of your mind?
always because of course everyone's talking about it. People are doing great numbers. It scales way faster. For sure, we want to. I don't think that's the right moment for us. Probably in the near future we will, but at the moment we can keep scaling. We have a great team in place, and we try to keep on doing what we're doing. We think we are pretty good. We're not at where we want to be, but we're going there. So at the moment, focus is also something important, right? Like you can't do everything right.
Yeah.
You need to know or how to pick your battles and which ones are they, and your strength. At the moment, Google is our strength, and we're gonna keep with it.
How big is your team right now?
We have a team around 25 people.
25 people.
Yeah.
And in terms of the talent, like, do you have everyone like in Argentina?
We have a lot of people in Argentina mainly. Argentinian talent is top notch. People are really, really good. And they are all very ambitious, focused team. We're happy. Again, as we are in the game for a couple of years now, we went all over the place. We hired in a lot of different countries, remote teams, nearby teams, or whatever. We hired in the Philippines. We hired in India, Pakistan, in other countries in Latin America. Now we're hiring in Argentina. We have a very solid group, and I think we're increasing our team, so it's going good.
Nice. And so, in terms of training new media buyers, like, are you training them yourself, or someone on your team, or are you giving them some courses to watch? Like, what did you find the best processes to train new team members?
That's a great question. We train them ourselves mainly. There are a lot of courses everywhere. But for us, the best way of learning how to run ads is by spending money. Like, you can get the best information, instructions, whatsoever. You can know the basics of the theory, but when you're in the field playing the game, it's not the same that you're spending $1 to 1,000 or whatever is your spend. For us, there's where you really learn. So we give them the skill set, our learnings, and our background, and from there we give them budget to start testing.
Are there any specific spy tools specifically for shopping, Google Shopping?
Google itself, like, you search for the keyword and you're gonna find who you are competing with.
And let's say you're in Argentina, you want to sell products in the US market.
Yeah.
Do you use like VPN to access the account, from IP in the United States to see what's showing up?
Yes, you should use a VPN. There are a lot of service providers. Use the best one is for you. So you can use to see which is the results of that search in that country. Yeah, that's very important.
And then when it comes to the optimization, like, how often do you usually optimize your account?
That's a great question. There's not a lot of people doing e-commerce at a certain scaling in Google, so the community is not that big. But the guys who are in the community, we have all different opinions. We do it in a weekly/daily basis. So we are very into our campaigns. Not really. Once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah.
Once a week.
Once a week, but we try to see how it goes. Like, once a week is a good way of seeing it. But again, as I said, Google is slower. So sadly, campaigns tend to optimize. This is what Google says. Like, this is legit taken from the Google service information. You need 14 to 30 days to see a campaign optimize.
Oh, wow.
So each change you do,
is that accurate?
it depends.
Uh-huh.
It depends. 2 weeks, yes. A month, for us, is too much. We like shorter time spent. So we usually see it in different time frames to get to know how it is going. Of course, if you are losing a lot of money at the second, third day, I would recommend you to shut everything down. But the time frames may vary. We use shorter time frames, but that's what Google recommends, 14 to 30 days. So taking that into consideration, patience is also a great part of it. It's not my greatest skill, but it's what it is.
What is a typical budget? Let's say you want to test like a new product. How much money would you spend on testing to see whether the product works?
That's a great question. It depends on other factors. However, I would recommend doing a multiple of your CPA. So analyze where is your break-even ROAS, and maybe a 2 or 3x budget on a daily basis to test. That's a great way. You can leave it running for a week. if you want to go with Google guidelines, you should do it for 2 weeks because that's the time frame. All the 14 days they ask you for it. You should take a week to see not how it goes, but to see the first results because you need traction and data in order to optimize. So we wait a week, and from there we start optimizing to see if it's a product we can work with or not, and see how it goes.
How much money would that be? Let's say for the product that costs $50, break-even CPA is let's say 30.
30. You can start with between a $50 to $60 budget daily. You can start with that. You're gonna have results. You should be seeing results in the first couple of days. Like results meaning conversions, right? Some sales. That's what I would expect. Again, you have to choose the right product, the right niche to go. The landing has to be blah blah blah. But if you have that budget and you're willing to wait, you should start seeing results. Meaning results, impressions, then clicks, and hopefully you could get your first sale. Maybe not profitable, but your first sale.
Do you use a lot of Google Display Network or demand generation?
That's great. No, we are very focused on search network, very search, shopping, Google search, text ads. That's something we really like.
Search and shopping pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Because for the rest, you need content, you need images, you need videos, and at the moment we are not focused on creating content.
Got it. So it becomes like more complex, right? You would need to kind of like develop specific expertise, hire specific people to develop these placements.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's not in our skill set. We are more Google. What it has is it's very analytical regarding like keyword metrics, volumes, and that kind of stuff. It's more a numbers game at a certain point. Of course, media buying in Facebook too, but you also have the component of the content and how to hook people and how to make it engaging and everything else. So Google is more analytical side, not that much of content if you're doing the search network.
What is the minimum keyword search volume that you're looking for this to make sense for you to get?
That's a great question. We look for search volume from 5,000 up, you are able to work with, just to start. 5,000 monthly search, that's good volume to start because it's not only a keyword that you target, you should target a set of keywords. Like if you say, let's say,
poor vacuum cleaner, right?
Yeah, poor vacuum cleaner. That's not only going to that keyword. That keyword, by the way, has a great search volume, but it's going to go to skincare routine or to other keywords. If you do your research well, so you're going to expand, but you should target a main keyword going like 5 to 10,000 upwards. That's a good place to start your search, to say, okay, this product has potential.
And how do you know if you maxed out what you can get from a specific keyword?
You have Google gives you they give it in their dashboard. That's a metric that is called impression share. So how much of the impression share, as you said, you are facing. So when you're reaching like 70, 80% of that impression share, you have two options. Or that's the amount your product can get. You try to optimize it to get as much as possible of that market, or you start adding new keywords to that product. Right? If the product allows you to, like let's say for example the poor vacuum cleaner. Maybe for how you did your landing and your keyword and whatever you have built on, you're only going for a few keywords of that category of that product. But maybe if you add, like, let's say more keyword research to your product description or to your store, maybe you start getting a bigger portion of the market. Like, let's say, as I said before, like skincare or oily skin, how to solve oily skin issues, and you start getting a bigger impression market, and there you're gonna see the opportunity to keep on growing your products. That's a great way of doing it. So, but for that you have to do, again, as I said before, a really good research on the product, the buyer persona, and to understand what they are looking for. So that's why I say it's a very game of research and to get to know who you're selling to.
Interesting. Do you drive traffic, let's say from search, do you usually drive traffic to the landing pages or standard product pages, collection pages? Where do you usually drive traffic to?
That's a great question. It will depend on the keyword you're targeting or the product sets that you have. So for fashion, in our experience, it works really well to go to collections, landing pages. And then usually we go to product page if the product makes sense, and if your ad it's doing well, that's okay. If you have more of a complicated offer or more specific product type of thing, what you usually do is something similar to what is going on Facebook. We have a search ad that goes to an advertorial or whatever you want to call it, advertorialistical or whatever, and then you send it to the product page. So it will depend on the product, the category, and how's the competition and your product. But you could make it work, just to make it simple for everyone. If you have a great search ad, that you have to have some copywriting skills. If you do a great search ad, you can send it directly to the product page and have success. So that's a good thing about Google. It's pretty, if you have the right things right, you're gonna see results fast. And it's a numbers game.
Do you target worldwide ever, like, or you go after specific countries?
We go after specific countries. We don't do worldwide. Again, because it's just a relevance game, so you need to be relevant to the language you are trying to speak. At least in the search and shopping network, you have to be very relevant. You may have a store that targets different countries, for example, trying to go worldwide. But you need to have the translation. Ideally.
Interesting. So what's your goal with this business? Do you want to just like max it out, like get it to like $10-20 million a year, or do you want to focus on one of the brands that you're running?
That's a discussion we have always, every day, maybe with my business partner. But no, what we want to really do is to take this business to the next level, hopefully 20, 50, or where we can take it.
Is Google allow you to get to those numbers? Google itself?
Yes, I think yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Again, it's slower, but you can. You can. So it's a place to keep on scaling. It takes time. You have to be patient. I think you can. And from there on, start developing our own brands. Like we have some brands right now, but once we tap out this market and win this game, go to the next one, that it would be going on brand creation, like more in depth.
Like our friend Santiago does, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I mean, I've learned so much. Thank you, Augusto.
Thank you guys for
chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Very much.